All right.
Nick, let's go play Dungeons and
Y'all ready?
Dragons.
Or
Okay.
Dungeon Bro, because
I
that's the
could talk
game we
about
play here.
movies.
That is the game we play here. All right.
Okay.
Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fable Table, an actual play live stream focused on critical world building, collaborative storytelling, finding the fun in games, and Andy spilling his drink.
Yep.
How's everyone doing today? Welcome to the show. Any major
Pretty good.
news, jokes, life updates? Anyone wants to share?
Bought a house.
Yes.
Shut up.
Nice.
Cheers to Andy. Congrats, Andy.
What
No.
the fuck?
Yay.
Congrats, dude. That's freaking great.
In a
I
seller's
wasn't here
market?
last week because we were negotiating our offer and having to be sharky about stuff, so did
Nice.
not have the bandwidth to participate last week. I apologize. I missed you all.
It's all
Missed you
good.
too,
It's
buddy.
You too, but
it's amazing that you all. This was the first offer you put on a house.
Was our first offer, first week of official hunting.
Wow.
Okay, now
I
we're
know,
mad at you.
We kind of cheated the system. I'm sorry.
Jeez.
Dude.
Well,
Tara and I were joking when we put our offer in. We're like, if this works, we're really good at house hunting, aren't we? And we are not. We just had a realtor who was willing to hold our hand very aggressively every step of the way. So
That's the best kind.
that's the one you need.
get a good realtor. That's the trick.
Good realtors and good lawyers make the world go round.
if you're trying to buy in the Puget Sound area, they take referrals only. So let me know.
Mm.
Okay.
Fair enough. Any other cool news, jokes, life updates?
My entire life.
Wow.
Nothing. My life is dreadfully boring. But I think I broke my reading goal. My reading goal was to read 100 books in 2022, and I've already hit that, and I'm at 102 right now. So
100 books.
Yeah.
Are these like novels or short story? What do you mean by
Novels.
book?
I mean
Like
books.
100,000 words each?
I mean, I don't know that they're 100,000. Well, maybe they are. Who knows?
Do you not
See.
get to say you've read a book if it's less than 100,000 words?
Yes.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
I could do a
Just
word
experience.
count for you.
I'm a piece of
so-
shit elitist. I am a
oh
reader.
my God.
You
I've-
like books? Name 3
I love-
books.
Harry Potter 1, Harry Potter 2, Harry Potter 3.
Got him.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, if Harry Potter is the
No.
guide by which you are judging me, then yes, I've read at least 100 Harry Potters this year. Like more
100
than some of them are
Sorcerer's
very long,
Stones.
but
Oh my God.
yeah, they're all real. I mean, well, not all of them. I can
The
say that I have
Sorcerer's
finished books
Stone's
that I
like
hated.
70 pages. I'm making
I have a
it
hard
up.
time.
You definitely
I have
are.
a hard time DNFing books that I, even
You're
if they
good.
suck, I have to finish the fucking thing.
Okay, well,
Congrats.
that's amazing, Shannon.
Yeah,
Holy
fuck
shit.
you, Shadow.
What?
I stay
What did
up
I do?
late. I mean,
We're skipping you.
Fair enough.
Oh my.
Oh,
Okay.
Nick, how was your week?
We're moving on.
All right. Let's play.
So, you all, before heading out to start delivering letters to the various kin and communities of the Ravenlands, you all took a quick detour into some tunnels to the east of the Hollows and discovered a cave with a bunch of crystals where a grave warden or guard, someone named Sandy, got real sick after touching a crystal. You discovered that this person and the cave were cursed by the sexy battle wizard, Francois the Abundant. I almost
Bulging?
said well endowed, which
I was gonna say,
wouldn't have
yeah.
been untrue, but
Is correct.
you all proceeded to try and break a dragon out suspended in a large gemstone, and failed various ways. You all began exploring some more, communicating with your gods. Wick tried to pull forth Francois the Abundant from beyond death, and ended up being possessed. in what I will admit was a really wacky and ill DM'd encounter. Sorry about that, John.
I forgive you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But ultimately, you all got Wick to bonk his head and regain control of his body. And Wick was just about to make a deal with Francois. I was rewatching the last few minutes, and you mentioned that you... Let's see here. You offered to help him get his body back if he helps you kill his if he helps you kill his dragon. Since he protected it so well with spells. Is that how you are still feeling?
I'm so sorry. Was this directed at me? I was trying to finish reading this fucking email before. I thought you were still in recap mode. Please forgive me, Nick.
Yes, I was recapping the deal that you were offering Francois, which if we are to use your remarks from last session, you offered to help him get his body back if he helped you kill his dragon.
Kill, eternally in prison, make it a non-threat was kind of Wick's thing.
Right, and he
Wick's about harm reduction more so than anything else.
Right, and he did explain, and you have evidence to the fact that this baby dragon is securely imprisoned. Like, y'all can't get it out. The magic is too complex. Yeah, he could.
So how trades work is he gives up something he wants, and I give up something that I want, so that we both get something we want.
Yes.
So I'm telling him to take axes from himself.
Okay. All right. Well, if you are willing to make a binding agreement to help him get his body back, then he will help you kill his dragon.
I am a man of my word.
Okay. So he begins working with you and anyone else who wants to help out to basically spend an hour, undoing the tumblers on this magical lock, so to speak. Undoing a large sequence of spells to render the crystal and the dragon vulnerable. Meanwhile, Cacophony, you are up in that little extra cave up above. With anyone else who wants to be there for the extra goodies, his little stockpile of books and other magical items up there. So let's start up there. Who does Cacophony airlift up into that little section where there's a tiny little library, a bookshelf, or a desk, and various magical items?
I know for sure Merrick wants them books.
Yeah, I'm definitely up there.
Okay. All right.
Books.
So, among the books, there are a series of volumes. They have titles on them, but as you look through the books, they are kind of nonsensical, or sometimes written in such a way that you can't understand them at all. Like, they are all basically encrypted, and we'll need to use some downtime actions to unravel those secrets, or you need to get direct access from him. But they are titled Sensational Incantational, The Given Tree, which appears to have images of beasts, flora, and fauna in it, Fantastic Feasts and Where to Eat Them, which appears to have various references to food, cultures, and locations around the Ravenlands, The Lives of Woodbees, which appears to have images of other sorcerers and notes on each of them. And then the final book is called Freak Gods. And it is a book about the deities.
That one seems important.
Yep.
Ryan, your to-do list just got 6 times.
Yes, it did.
The among the magical items are what appears to be an extremely ornate iron pan of weight 2. There is a key with a little tag on it. Think like if you've watched Twin Peaks, there's that room key that gets lost for the many years. There is a room key with a tag that says 10 on it. It is weight 0. And then there is a bottle of silver liquid with a tag or a label that says liquid skin.
Oh, I think I want that.
Liquid skin?
Yes. It's a rather large bottle, and it is weight 1.
Jesus.
Sounds gross.
I'm gonna drink somebody's skin, bro.
Not for drinking.
It's in a bottle.
Okay.
That's fair.
Does anyone have room to carry anything?
Yeah.
That is an excellent question. How much do these books weigh?
The collection of books can be weight 1. Just weight 1, and it is just say it is Francois' books.
Frank's books.
What am I carrying? Why do I have what's this weight? Oh, it's the adventuring gear.
You also can just leave it. Like, no one knows where this shit is.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I'll just come back for it then.
Totally up to you.
Trying to think if there's anything I can get rid of.
You know what?
No matter what.
You
Go
know,
ahead, Nick.
you know what? Fuck it. There is also a bag of holding.
Sweet.
We did it, boys!
That seems way too easy.
How dare you!
As the resident thief, I would like to take on this bag of holding.
You
please.
give it to the rogue! Give it to the cleric! He's got so many books!
He can put his books in my bag of holding. It's fine.
I will store the books there.
Yeah.
But how will he have access to the books?
I'll take all of the things.
Oh, God.
Okay, let me
that's
put...
probably the best.
Merrick, you're taking it?
We could
No,
just
I'm
throw
pretty sure
Cacophony in
Cacophony
the
has
house.
just named it.
Cacophony is taking it. Okay, great. Cacophony, I will...
If you want it, Merrick, you can have it.
No.
I just
Have
want to be able
fun
to
with your bag of
steal
holding.
things and
Come.
put it in there.
Yeah, if she
Go for
breaks
it.
into a house, she should be able to take whatever she wants, guys.
Yeah, I want
For real.
a Santa sack. All of their shit.
A
I want their
reverse Santa?
candelabras. Yeah, I want to reverse Santa all of
They're
their
gonna
shit into my bag
Krampus
of
on their
holding.
style.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh.
I'm really leaning into this stealing things.
What?
Hang on. I'm going to add the move. So bag of holding has a move along with it.
Uh-oh.
So
You can grab
Yeah,
the
post-
wrong.
That's fair.
Use that, please.
yeah,
It's called
let me-
Get Fucked Loser. It explodes. And
here, I will add it to Shannon's sheet. Roll
Ugh.
plus wisdom on a 10 plus.
Oh. Give it to the cleric, quick.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, wisdom. Well, I have 10 wisdom. When I level up next, I guess I'm going to have to start adding to that one.
Oh.
Because we all know it's not charisma.
True.
Okay, so here is the move. Here, let me change it for chat. Okay. A bag of holding is larger on the inside than the outside. It can contain an infinite number of items, and its weight never increases. When you try and retrieve an item on a bag of holding, roll plus wisdom. On a 10 plus, it's right there. On a 7 to 9, choose one. You get the exact item, but it takes a while. Or you get a similar item of the GM's choice, but it only takes a moment. No matter how many items it contains, a bag of holding always weighs 0. So
That's
This a
big.
lot. This sounds fun. I can't wait for whatever wacky things we actually pull out instead of the things that we want. I'm very excited for this.
Is it empty?
Right now?
how would you know?
Well, I'm asking Shannon.
I guess I'll just go crawl inside and see what I can find. Because obviously, if there's a bag of holding in there, no.
And
She's
was
lost
never seen
forever
again.
in the Shadow Realm.
She was gone forever, yeah. Thus, she makes.
I need a thief. I need something to break open this door quickly. Someone else pulls out Cacophony
Cacophony.
7,000 years later.
Here, you all can hit edit and use this sheet as a community space for the bag of holding.
Wonderful.
Nice.
But
I'm very
one
excited.
person
This is
one
super
person
cool.
should do it at a time or it won't save. So who's gonna edit it?
Not me.
Not
I'm
it.
not good at this. Somebody else do it.
Okay.
I will add the items to the sheet. Go
Okay.
ahead, Nick.
I was going to offer to do that, but no worries. Okay. So, after about an hour's work, Wick, you using your magic, using Francois' guidance, are able to very, very carefully unlock this crystal effectively. There are some moments where pulling apart his magic requires very careful timing and is extremely dangerous. And he's got your back. There are moments where he could just let you die. Like you're about to make a mistake and he catches it and points it out to you very quickly. And he manages to somehow be patient with you. He's extremely rude.
We're partners.
But
I get it.
you know, he's just as in it as you are.
Good.
And after an hour, the crystal appears to, at least to Merrick's eyes, and to yours if you use detect magic, which I don't even know if you have, but
Nope.
yeah, you've removed all of the incantations and enchantments, and the crystal is there, vulnerable.
Crystal is vulnerable?
Yes, your blade should be able to cut it. It is in fact quite fragile without the enchantment. Creating a more robust crystal would have taken a spell that I hadn't quite finished yet.
I look to the group. You all know what I'm gonna do. Now's your time to speak up.
We can't stop you once you've set on your course for whatever it is that you want to do, and we know you want to kill this dragon, so...
I refuse to give up that easily. Why do you feel this dragon wouldn't benefit us if we could befriend it? I know that we're not going to train it.
Can you befriend it, Merrick?
Befriending animals before killing them.
I have been saying this the whole damn time.
Yes, but your word means nothing.
You're such a dick. All right.
You're overruled. We're befriending the dragon.
Yay!
By the way, what's Basil's status right now? Is he in a trance? Is he just fine?
Oh, you're fine.
You sidelined me
I
last
think
time,
literally... So I roleplayed as you. I think I lost you 1 ammo.
What? Motherfucker.
Of regular arrows. Don't worry about it.
I mean, you shot Wick with it, though.
I did, so I'm sure it's fine, right, Andy?
Yeah.
What?
It's fair.
I don't want to shoot Wick. I want my fucking arrow back. All right, I walk up to Wick and yank my arrow out of his shoulder and then tell him we're befriending the dragon.
No, we will talk about this like adults.
If voting means nothing, then why even bother?
Says the guy who told one of his friends, your word means nothing.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
We could discuss that if you want. But,
no.
John, the player, wants interaction from you fuckers. He calls a hard shot. I know, it's rough, but it's meant for you guys to actually engage with it rather than just brush your hair or feathers up, ruffle your feathers in defense. So I have set a clear line that we must now discuss. We are going to engage with this ethically, morally, rather than just immediately go into violence and destroy this party. So, you say you want to protect, or at least enslave the dragon, Basil and Merrick.
Nobody's enslaving it.
I haven't said that. I wish to communicate with the dragon.
Yeah.
We don't know its intentions. We don't know that it means harm. We don't know that
and
it
you
means
speak
good.
to the dragon.
I'm sure one
I'm
of us
not
will
yet
figure
sure.
it out.
And the dragon speak, Francois.
You all have a +1 to your next roll thanks to Rumble Roar in the chat.
Nice.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have a -2, John. He interfered with you.
Well,
I should
that's
read.
fine.
Oh, shit.
Fair.
Because he wants to see dragons. I totally understand.
I mean,
understand.
thank you.
Let's hope this doesn't come to a hack and slash.
Look, I know that it's hard for you to understand, but when you nurture something, it tends to not, I don't know, stab you in the back.
While we are discussing,
Cacophony.
Chives has walked up to the dragon and nuzzled it.
Oh.
The crystal that
guys.
it's encased in.
I need you to start engaging with me and not engaging around me. I, the player, am asking this of you, the players.
Please explain to me why you feel killing it is necessary before we communicate or determine anything else about it.
I'm willing to talk to it, Marek.
All right?
But you must know that this is my immediate reaction. This is a potential super weapon that can destroy not just our town, but the entirety of our lands. Every single humanoid could be at potential risk with this thing. My question is, why do we save it, and are we so filled with hubris we think we can control it?
You bring up valid points. But if we take every potential weapon and destroy it, what do we have to use against our enemies?
What?
This is a weapon we
have
can
iron. Weapons that won't and cannot betray us. Steel, iron, bows, arrows, daggers. Goat demons, maybe.
You feel these will be enough?
Yes.
What if we could add magical lizard wings and fire breathing to our list of allies?
If it did not have a mind, for sure. Unfortunately, to my knowledge, is this a spout lore? Dragons are mindless, selfish, horde-creating, gluttonous, enriching, passionate creatures that want to fuck, have more of their scaly offspring, and then burn down whatever gets in their way. So, if you have ever heard of a good dragon, speak up, please. For I have only heard tales of warriors killing evil ones.
Maybe we'll be the first
That's not good enough.
to have a good dragon.
In fairness, there's someone in our party who flies and hoards gold, and she seems pretty okay. So.
Thank you.
Nick, I'll pull out Gorthank's
I was going to say, that all seems like a really great time.
Yes.
And I'm going to look through there to see if there's any mention in Gorthank's diary of any dragons in the Ravenlands that have been benevolent or violent or evil.
Give me a spell lore. And I believe... Oh, no, you have bonuses to stuff about communities.
I think so.
Dragons destroy communities now.
I don't know if... Yeah, are there any communities? Maybe there's a community that was destroyed by dragons or that dealt with a dragon. I'll look through there to see if I can find it.
Okay.
Come on.
Do I get that +1?
I'm aiding him. Please let me aid him.
Yeah, you can aid him.
Well, you got a +1 though.
John,
do I get the +1 for the communities? Because that would turn it into
No. So specifically, when Rubble Roar donated a aid or interfere, he called out an interfere with John.
Mm-hmm.
So John has a -2 to his next roll, which is -2 there. So
I would like to aid by holding up a light source to read by.
No, only one person can aid or interfere with a roll.
Damn.
Okay, so both of you mark XP.
Thanks.
There is information in Gorthank's diary that speaks to well, so here's what I already mentioned. I mentioned that there is a dwarven clan called that their capital is called Skarn Hall. And their hall is said to be built on over the bones of a massive dragon named Skarn, who was like a terrible dragon. But there are also stories in Gorthank's diary of, how would...
There's no way. We rolled bad, right?
We failed the roll. So
Yeah,
if
yeah,
there's
but that
nothing we can
doesn't
find-
mean I don't give you information.
Okay.
A miss means what I want it to mean.
Oh,
Live in Nick's world.
that's true. Failures
Uh,
are.
For example,
Right.
this
Failures don't
document
matter.
called "Suddenly Ogres: What to Do on Spout Lore and When Spout Lore and Discern Realities Miss." It suggests it's worse than it seemed. It's worse than you thought. Your answer is in another castle. The abyss gazes into you, or you missed the obvious.
That's
Like ways of interpreting information. There are references to other there are references that other communities have engaged in dragons like long ago, but that sorcerers largely hunted them down or put them under their tried to capture them. So as we saw our sexy battle wizards 2 episodes ago hunting demons,
Girl.
that but dragons. And also befriending and capturing demons. Imagine that, but dragons.
Befriending and Stockholm syndrome are
Yeah.
pretty synonymous when you're a wizard, it seems.
Yeah.
I will close the book and share the information that I have and let everybody know. I can find no cases where a dragon has befriended a community.
You'd be the first.
That's what I'm saying. This dragon is young enough.
You're starting a
And-
new era in the.
Yeah.
You wish to brainwash a beast that will one day breathe fire enough
What
to
you-
incinerate you.
You say brainwash, I say befriend and treat with kindness. So
You cannot.
you can't treat an
We are-
animal
we
with
are-
kindness?
We are literally
You
acting out
can.
the first act of How to Train Your Dragon. I just want to acknowledge that. Anyways,
It was an unrealistic movie.
It was about dragons, okay?
Gerard Butler's character was right, guys. You should have killed them all.
Oh my god.
Save everyone the trouble.
Oh, Wick. Oh, Wick.
Yes, Frank.
You could release the dragon and let it attack you to prove to them how violent a creature it could be.
I'm on board with this plan.
This is directly to Wick
Damn it.
in his brain or soul.
Okay.
You're not sure.
Wick, a strange malaise has come over your face. You seem puzzled and a little befuddled. Are you okay?
I wish you would pay more attention to your own thoughts than my facial expressions. I have yet to hear a reason other than, I think it would be cool! We are playing with quite literally the most dangerous fire ever that will one day outlive us all. You say you can befriend it. How?
By treating it with kindness and showing it.
What stops
know.
it from fucking off?
Hashtag animal homies.
Thank you. And animal homies. What stops it from fucking off? I don't know.
Yes.
It's a dragon. If it
Nothing.
fucks off, it
Right.
fucks
I
off.
agree. You don't know. If it fucks off, what does a dragon do? Historically, does anybody know?
Becomes
At
a
the
plot
very
point later on.
least, we're not
acts
making
like
an
an
enemy of
animal.
it. We make it ambivalent.
What
I don't
happens
know. I
when
just-
we die? It continues to live and forgets its roots.
Dragons are notoriously long-lived, yes, but nobody's ever accused them of being forgetful. So
How do you know?
I think that. How do you know?
Because every time there is a dragon I have heard, someone has gone out of their way to kill it.
Okay, well, maybe
You only kill
if-
something if it's a threat to you.
I will always stand by the fact that I think that if we befriend it and stop treating it like an animal and treating it with kindness, that
It's
it
an
will-
animal.
So are we. So are you.
Yes.
What do you have against animals?
Actually, Religious Wick probably doesn't believe that. He was, like, handcrafted by a god.
Ugh.
Hey, Merrick, we've
I don't think he's an
established
evolutionist.
That Wick's not going to listen to us. Can you weigh in?
Well, here's what I have to say on the matter. Wick has presented an argument and asked you for evidence against the argument. You have presented none other than your feelings. I'm starting to side with him.
It's hard to present evidence against something that has never
been done.
happened before. How there is
And
no
against-
precedence.
and
Yeah, okay,
against
I get
something
it.
that you-
There is no precedence for it, which doesn't mean that it shouldn't be done. Somebody has to be the first to do it. No?
True,
You
but it
think
also
you are
means
responsible enough for that?
It also means you don't know how to do it. You have nothing to
True.
bank on in case you are in trouble or you fail.
Do you
You
reliably
have no
know how to kill it?
recourse.
Yes.
I believe that we are quite effective at killing things.
Well, I'm
At
not going to
least
help
I
you.
will.
Dragons?
So,
Yeah.
like I said, you wanted to talk about it. We talked about it. I don't agree with you. I'm going to step out of the cave because I don't really like the way that this whole thing is going. So, you guys do what you want to do.
Thank you.
If you will give me time to commune with Worm,
Go for it.
to change my spells, I will ask him about ways to communicate with this dragon.
But you are
If
going
I
to communicate
cannot
with
find a way to communicate with him, then I'm starting to side with Wick. I wish that we could have left it alone instead of just plain killing it. But if what Wick says about these protections being gone, has that been revealed to us, by the way? I'm asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would
With
be
the
obvious
protections
that
being
he's been
gone,
doing that.
we can't leave here without dealing with this one way or the other.
This robs Francois of a potential tool of destruction.
Now he has only you. And
Yeah,
Merrick will walk
but
out
I
of the
can be
cave
killed.
and I'll soak in the dragon. I would like to commune with Worm. I don't wish to actually speak with my gun, but I would like to change my spells. It will take me an hour to sit in quiet contemplation, if you will allow me.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Hmm.
We
Is
can
there
say that
anything
you were
anybody-
doing that while Wick was doing his work. Of
All right, sounds good. Then I would like to attempt to cast a spell.
okay.
I would like to cast Revelation.
Ooh.
Let me make my roll first.
Somebody
Looks
help
my
him.
spell fails.
Somebody
Damn.
help him.
2 spell rolls today. And
Mark-
I've rolled
Oof. Mark XP.
not a whole lot of awesome. Why did I have a -1 on spell lore?
You
Not
have
sure
a
why I don't.
you have a -1 ongoing for something.
But
Wait, man.
for what? I have a global modifier clicked and I don't know what it is.
Is that your
You are
plate
wearing
mail?
heavy armor.
No. Well, yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll mark XP.
Okay.
And I guess I lose my spell and I don't get to provide the party with information. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
But the good
Can,
news.
can you
we're getting
link
a
me
lot closer to
Revelation?
leveling. Certainly. Your deity answers your prayers with a moment of perfect understanding. The GM will shed light on the current situation. When acting on the information, you take +1 forward.
Okay.
The question I was planning on asking as I cast this spell is, how can I communicate with this dragon?
Okay. All right. So Merrick has left the cave. Cacophony's left the cave. Basil, it is you and Wick.
I'm not here for killing this thing.
Okay.
And Chives will stand defiant in between Wick and the dragon, though.
That's fine.
All right. But then you leave. Or are you just standing there?
Basil left, but Chives is staying right there.
Okay.
Animal homies. One dark soul to another.
Okay. I think that we can cut ahead to Wick.
Well, hang on.
Okay.
I have one last redeeming way of not killing this dragon. Now, I know what you're thinking. John, you've been saying nonstop shit how you want to kill this dragon. But guys, I don't. I would love to fly on. I actually liked How to Train Your Dragon 1.
Great movie.
But there's only one thing that I can do. And now that Chives, the demon goat, Staten, if you will, is watching me, I wish to cast the only spell that I know can speak to another's mind, known as telepathy. Are you ready, Nick?
Sure.
Please not be shit. A partial.
That is a partial success.
Yes!
Choose one. You draw unwelcome attention to yourself and put yourself in a spot. Or put yourself in a spot. The GM will tell you how. The spell disrupts the fabric of reality as it is cast. Take -1 ongoing to cast spells next time. Until next time you prepare spells or the spell is forgotten.
We'll do number 3 for brevity.
Okay. Go ahead and link me telepathy once again.
God, okay. This might not even work even with it if we're doing rules as written. But, you're the DM, so you get to choose. It says person. Are dragons people?
You touch the crystal the dragon is encased in.
Well, I'd punch the crystal and grab the dragon by the neck, right?
Oh, by the neck. Shit.
Yeah.
You are met immediately with a response of fear and terror. And you hear the yelp of a dragon in your mind.
Is it, like, understandable?
I mean, it is not words, but...
It's not words.
It is, you know, a screech.
Da-da-da-da-da, do you understand me? Da-da-da-da-da.
You wish to kill me?
Oh, fuck, you can't think.
You wish
Quick thinks.
to end my life after spending it in this prison for so long.
Give me a reason not to.
I wish to live.
It's a good reason, but it's not enough. You're a threat. You scare me.
I do not wish to eat you or kill you. I wish
Not just me, but everyone who comes after me.
During this, Chives has walked up behind Wick and given him an encouraging nudge. Bravery.
I must eat if I am to be free.
People? Me? Humans?
You are human?
No. Not anymore.
You do not smell appetizing. I will not eat your kind.
Ever?
I have no reason to. You smell terrible.
Is it convincing? Is it lying to me? This could be a trick.
You think it is being sincere?
Well, of course it's sincere in this moment, right? I've got a sword. Okay, so let's take a step back as time seems to freeze. Wick, Francis over his shoulder, wanting him to kill it or do something with it. Beyond it is Vale. Beyond that is Rust, or their equal or opposite Vine for Wick's soul here. So I have Demon Sexy Battle Wizard on my shoulder, Hell God from the Abyss and to my left, and then Angry Jesus on my right here.
While he's making this decision, does this dragon just literally need to have this crystal broken so that it can be free?
If you break the crystal, that seals its fate, right? This is like the negotiation part of me not killing it. Or Wick not killing it.
Wick, give me a Defy Danger Strength, please.
I can't do that.
What is Francois saying releases the dragon?
Just like once the crystal is destroyed.
The dragon's free?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a failure.
That is a failure. Mark XP.
Alright.
Okay, so you wanted to take a moment, John.
I did. John wants to. Because I need you guys to understand that John is not wanting to ignore what you are saying. But the narrative is forcing me down this path. I want to offer the dragon a deal, if possible. Similar to Francis, that it can never break, and I don't know how I can do that. Hi, Raleigh.
Hi, Raleigh.
It's chatting with someone. Okay, so you want to offer it a deal. Well,
I thought I was on mute.
you're going to have to speak quickly because the crystal is beginning to crack. And the dragon is going to be free in a moment.
I'm trying to think of a way to do that without... well, I don't have the mechanical tools necessary. And my narrative is kind of limited here, since Wick's not a full-blown spellcaster.
I think Chives impatiently walks up and rams into the crystal.
Alright, I kill the dragon.
No, to release it.
I kill the dragon.
If you've been listening, he's been trying to come up with a reason to not kill the dragon. When
So,
it breaks open, he's going to go after it.
so Wick does not hesitate. He kills the dragon.
I can't. Yeah, I can't now.
Okay. The crystal shatters.
John was hesitating.
Wick whips out his sword or had it at the ready and immediately plunges. As the crystal shatters, the dragon does not move. And you roll damage as you plunge your blade into the dragon.
Come on.
Is dragon skin stronger than this sword?
It's the Moss family sword.
Yes.
I don't know what else it does.
Your blade glances off the breast of this dragon. And the dragon stands there with its arms up in the air. It looks
Isn't
down.
this a baby?
Yeah.
It's
Five
no
sticks
bigger
in
than
It is.
you.
It is
Try and
your
get-
size. It is the same
Wow.
size as you.
Then we fight.
Chives
Until
continues to try
one
and
of us
get
dies.
from them.
Okay. The dragon stands there with its arms up. Roll damage.
Wait, what?
It's not defending itself.
Why?
Chives interferes.
Maybe you should
Basil,
ask
chill,
that.
man.
Maybe Wick should ask that question.
I'm trying to, but every time, man, he's like, the pet does something. I get it. Your goat is interfering. But Basil isn't.
Okay.
So what does the dragon do when I ask it why?
I do not wish to fight you or eat you, as I said before. I am grateful that I am free, but I need to know, are you going to kill me or free me?
I need you to fly as far the fuck away from here as possible and never again come to these lands.
The dragon, stretches its back. There are no wings yet.
What the? How?
The baby.
Every time I'm giving it a way out, and it's just not happening.
Your
Can
way
I
out is
teleport it
trusting
away?
Your way out
Francis,
is
teleport
trusting
this
it.
away. Get him out of here.
Way out is trusting it.
Can I bind it into servitude for 60 years? How long does it take for a dragon to grow?
Francois can teleport this dragon out of here.
Francis,
But
get this the fuck away. Just get it out of my goddamn sight.
You will need
I'm
to
tired
give
of
me
this.
control of your body.
Do it!
All right, Francois will take over, and eventually you all see Wick walk out of the cave, and he shudders. And Wick, you are back in control of your body.
Thank you.
Is it done?
Something like that.
Okay.
Let's go see the fucking elves.
Okay.
You must. I hope you never perceive me as a threat.
All right. So, we have a bit of a choice. There are two routes to the north. There is a route to the east and then north towards the elves, which will take longer. It will take about a week. But it will be a safer path, and your encounters, should you have one, will be less risky and less. We will roll the encounter with advantage, basically, and I will give you the more calm and friendly outcome. Or you can go to the west slightly and go right past Whaler's Hold, and it is a much faster but riskier option. And we will roll encounters with disadvantage, and I will give you the much more dangerous or risky encounter. And but
I
that
choose
will
less.
only take 4 days.
I choose less risky.
Second.
I wanna float down the river playing a banjo, chewing on some hay. Like that's what I want to do. I want to just I want to channel Baloo. That's what I want to be.
Yes, and while we contemplate which route we want to take, I'm reminded in the chat that I need to do XP. So let's do that.
We did forget XP last time.
We sure did.
XP for what?
A story arc.
Nightmare. This fucking
This was a short one. Okay, when you reach the end of a session, choose one of your bonds that you feel is resolved, completely explored, no longer relevant, or otherwise ask the player of the character you have the bond with if they agree. If they do, mark XP and write a new bond with whomever you wish. Everyone go ahead and take a look at bonds while I feed my puppies. Thank you, Uncle Valid Opinion. Puppy girls. Oops. Come here. Up. Aurora, come here.
I have absolutely fulfilled none of my bonds.
What are your bonds?
With Basil and Chives, I'll talk to Basil about why he's so interested in vengeance and find out what's causing this desire. I'm not sure if he's actually interested in vengeance and anger anymore. He certainly was when we were fighting the Rust Brothers. The second one with Cacophony is about finding information from Raven and easing her worry, which I definitely have not been able to do yet.
Well, but we tried.
I do just want to say, wanting to not kill a dragon doesn't mean that I don't want vengeance.
This may be true. I still haven't had a chance to talk with you about it. Maybe we'll have to do that coming up. And then my bond with Wick is about Wick is the best hope of uniting our allies against the coming tides and threats. I'll endeavor to build him up as the leader he does not wish to be, and don't know if Merrick is 100% sure on that one anymore. He doesn't agree with a lot of the things that Wick has done lately. So
I think mine is going to change for Merrick too.
Okay.
I'm not giving up on mine, but I would say it's not resolved yet.
Well, mine is just a statement of how it is resolved. So now we get to move it in the other direction. Okay.
What was your bond with me?
This is someone worthy of trust.
How have I broken your trust?
It's not so much that you have, it's that the amount of magical items you are soy diving for is not lost on Wick. And now he's kind of wondering where your loyalties are aligned, because at one point you were like the Moss family cook, and then you were the cleric of Worm, and now it's like, well, he's been with me this entire time, but he's getting some doubt, maybe some just general suspicion.
Is Wick just paranoid in general?
With his allies, certainly. Well, He doesn't. Yeah, I think Merrick's the closest thing he currently has to a friend. And after the history with his last friends, like, that's not a good track for Wick specifically.
Would you trust no one? Are you paranoid all the time?
Yes.
It sounds like it.
Let's see if he's schizophrenic too. Here with Francis.
Let's say. I'm about to find that one out. Yeah. So Shannon, would you feel that bond is resolved?
I maybe not resolved, but so like my bond with Merrick, it says united in their quest to find out what is siphoning the power from the Ravenlands, blocking the gods from connecting those who worship with them. I feel like maybe that one is maybe not my bond with you to figure out what the hell's going on with Raven, but I think that didn't we determine that it was what's his name? Mist? Who is thank you, Vale. My bad. Jesus Christ, Shannon.
I feel like
Vale.
I feel like it's Vale is siphoning magic and cutting the barrier between reality and the void. But I'm not sure how Raven is being affected by that, or if Raven is the one that maybe can stop that. No.
Oh, that's a good question.
I think the answer to that one lies with the Raven sisters. We'll have to pursue
those
that.
guys are jerks, but okay.
Maybe I can find them for you. We'll see.
That's what we're gonna have to. Go
If
in there, roll up
if
my
I stop
feathers.
failing spells, then maybe I can find them for you. And if I don't stop failing spells, then I can't help you. Andy, Bonds, what you got, buddy?
Supposed to work on better understanding Merrick's connection with Worm, which, like you said just now, if you keep failing spells, it's hard to get a sense of as a character. And collaborate with Cacophony on making safer, less violent decisions. Swing and a miss, but we'll get them next time.
We'll keep trying.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on. Once bonds have been updated, look at your alignment. If you fulfilled that alignment at least once this session, mark XP, then answer those. Then we'll answer some questions together. Basil, your alignment?
Free someone from literal or figurative bonds. I do not feel like we did that since we don't know if that dragon was sent somewhere against its will.
Sure.
Okay. I was going to offer you that one, but if you feel it wasn't, then go.
But I don't. But Basil doesn't know what happened to it.
Yeah, but it was freed from a literal bond.
Yeah, but
where was it put though? We don't know we don't know what its situation is wherever Francois possessing Wick sent it. So I don't feel like Basil accomplished any freeing of things.
Interesting. Okay. Merrick, discover a piece of knowledge from someone or something that wants to keep it hidden? I would say yes. I mean, you discovered a whole place that someone wanted to keep hidden.
As well as a wizard that is dead but not dead. And now that I know who he is and what he's about, maybe I can find where he's buried. Maybe I can put him to rest.
Yeah, maybe. Wick,
Take that one.
defend those weaker than you.
I purposely endangered something weaker than me.
Not only that, but like given Wick's arguments, you have potentially endangered others elsewhere weaker than you.
Yep.
Okay. And Cacophony, you did get this one. Leap into danger without a plan. You face dived into a fireball. Mark XP, please.
Nice. Yep.
A true MVP.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
All right. So along your journey, whichever way that takes you, those of you with enough XP to level up may do so.
What is it again? 8? 7?
Current level plus 7?
Nice. I'm level 6, motherfucker.
Hey, Nick, weren't there
yes,
3 universal
yes.
things from the level up that we have to resolve?
Did we learn something new and important about the world? Yes, a lot. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy?
Not really.
I mean, 3 of us defeated Wick and
Francis.
Francois in combat, but
Yeah,
Well, does
I would
that
say
count?
so. Yeah, everyone
Do I not
mark
get
XP.
part of
A point
that?
for that?
Yes, yes.
you get part of that.
Okay.
And then did we loot a memorable treasure? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Wait, what's the thing to level up?
7 plus your current level.
I'm level 7, baby.
Level
Holy-
6 for me.
Holy shit.
Bye.
Level 6 from Moi OC.
I'm at 13.
And I'm exactly 0 experience at this point. I just barely
Same.
made it.
Same here.
Very nice. Okay. So yeah, along this journey, you all will get an opportunity to level up. I just need to know which direction y'all are going. The 4-day risky option or the week-long less risky option?
Less risky Hobbit adventure.
Do we have the
Absolutely.
food to do the less risky?
You can hunt.
I've got rations and shit.
Okay.
I have a little bit of food.
I have 1 more hit point.
Hell yeah.
Increasing your con, did you?
Yep.
All right. I am taking.
Oh.
I have increased my intelligence by 1. I now have a +1 modifier to it.
Okay.
And I am going to take the move, the advanced move, multi-class dabbler, and get a move from another class, treating my level as 1 lower for choosing the move. And I am going to take from the fighter. I have to see if I can find the name for it. I'm going to take a move from the fight class, which is.
Looking armored.
Classic
Yes.
warrior priest.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
going to take the move that allows me to ignore the clumsy tag on armor.
There you go. It's on your sheet.
Perfect. Thank you.
Nice.
Now I can remove the. Well, I didn't have it on, but I can remove the continuous -1 on everything I'm doing from wearing the heavy armor.
Nice.
Ooh, and I get extra spell levels.
Hell
So I'm
yeah.
going to prepare spells
Perfect.
as well. 1 more level. I can prepare a level 5 spell and a level 3. We'll see. Close.
Cacophony, did you put your point in wisdom?
Yes, I did.
Fantastic. Do you know what move you're taking?
I'm looking at them now, but can I just say that like level 6 moves are like the tits. Like they're so much better.
That's
than
when you get to the-
Except when they don't work as they're intended.
Well, there's that. But dude, like these ones are so much better than the ones I've been using. All right. Yeah, I got to think about this one.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know
there's
whenever
one
you're
called
ready.
Heist. That one
Heist.
looks
Heist
good.
is a
Yeah.
great move. If you pick it, we will definitely use it in this season.
I got to think about it. There's so many.
John, do you know what you're taking?
I'm torn between 2 things at the moment. Come back to me.
Okay.
Unless I'm the last one, in which case.
It's just you and Shannon, but we can always do those later. It's
How close are you to leveling, Andy?
I'm at 9 to get to level 6, so I still need 3 more XP.
I hope you roll shitty and you get there.
Thank you.
All
Right after you entreat with the elves for us.
I'm gonna miss a lot of arrows.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Let's do charisma checks. Boom. Become our hero.
All right. So what were the votes in terms of the direction to go?
I'm
Yeah.
abstaining.
We had 2 votes for the safe route. I will
Easy peasy.
agree to the safe route if we have the food for it, which I think we do.
Okay.
Yeah. I got all them dungeon rations, boy.
Okay. Then let's do a undertake a perilous journey. Let me pull up that move. Undertake a perilous journey. When you travel through hostile territory, choose 1 member of the party to act as trailblazer, 1 to scout ahead, one to be quartermaster. The same character cannot have 2 jobs. If you don't have enough party members, blah blah blah. Each character has a job to do. Roll plus wisdom. On a 10 plus, you perform better than expected, and on a 7 to 9, you perform as expected. So who is our trailblazer? Who is our scout? And who is the quartermaster?
I will roll perfect, so I'll be quartermaster to save some food.
Okay.
Good thinking.
I abstain from. I always get us lost. At this point, it's just EXP farming.
I'll go the trailblazer.
Okay.
If Shannon wants to be the scout.
I'll be the scout.
Okay.
Andy rolls perfect.
Perfect.
I roll 10.
You
so
rolled
we're good.
10 for trailblazer.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Shannon.
And then Shannon.
I meant to roll wisdom, but I rolled cast a spell, but it's the same thing.
It is the same thing. That's fine.
Am I just rolling wisdom?
Yep, just a wisdom roll. That's a 7. So as expected. So for Scout, no one gets the drop on you, but you don't get the drop on them either. Okay. John, since you didn't roll, will you roll me 2d6, please? I have 6 encounters. We are rolling with advantage since you all took the safer route.
5.
A 5 and a 1. Okay. Okay. Let me play some music here. Okay, so you all head towards the east. Far in the distance, you see the mountain that Galler Hall lies beneath, but you can't quite see Galler Hall since it lies within a valley beyond some hills that block your view. You make the turn north, and for most of you, at least for those of us, like, you know, watching the HBO special that is this show, you all begin heading north, the furthest north you all have ever been. Past some mountain ranges, through forests, using a map you were given to guide you. As you are moving through some foothills, forested foothills, the wind turns and you feel the smell of freshly baked bread. Thanks to your excellent quartermaster Basil, you all have plenty of rations. He's been able to hunt. We're not even going to bother adjusting your rations. You all are making extremely good time as Merrick is leading you, like, just really, really well, very efficiently. But as you catch this whiff of baked bread and follow the scent, you approach and see a small stone house nestled in some vegetation. Here, there are no trails, pastures, or fields, and there is heavy smoke rising from the chimney and lights glowing inside through the small square windows that you can see on the exterior. What do you do?
Presumably there's some pie left in our ornate frying pan from a previous night's rations, and Basil and Chives will...
You cooked with that thing?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Should
fuck,
we
hang
not?
on. We might need to back up here.
Oh, no.
You're not gonna put a frying pan in our bag of holding and not have me use it.
That's true. What happens to the fish that you fry in it?
Does anyone contribute an ingredient to the pie?
You said I was hunting and fishing, so I assume, like Shannon said, some caught fish.
Okay,
Like a
right,
fish-
but
well,
which
it could be a fish
characters are contributing? I need to know.
Oh, God.
Basil for one.
I think
I
Cacophony probably would also.
I've been working in the Moss family kitchens. I help chip in with something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I stand back and watch what happens.
Yeah.
Francois'
to
voice
get
in my
fucked.
head going,
Exactly. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to add a move to the special moves character sheet.
Why do I feel like we're gonna poop confetti or something? You know, like what? Like just or like balloons? I don't know. I don't like it.
Distraction ever.
Okay. Andy, go ahead and roll wisdom. Clears cast iron pan. It is a 2-weight hand weapon with forceful and stun tags. So you could use this as a weapon. A very heavy cast iron pan from the famous god of culture. It looks like it can also be used as a weapon. Who knew, right? Well, we all know that Merrick knew. When you make camp and use Clear's cast iron pan to cook a hearty meal from fresh ingredients, roll plus wisdom. On a 10 plus, everyone who contributes an ingredient may choose one from the list below, and the meal is a culinary masterpiece. On a 7 to 9, same as above, but someone had an unforeseen reaction to the food. The GM will tell you who is affected and how. The options are take +1 forward and refill a ration stack to 5 uses from the leftovers, or heal 1d10 damage or remove a debility.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, this thing is dope.
Take that roll, Andy.
Yo!
That is a 7
Hey.
7 to 9. So everyone who contributed an ingredient, which sounded like everyone but Wick, may choose one from the list below. And it is a culinary masterpiece.
Oh, boy.
But who has an
I'll
unseen
take
reaction?
+1 going forward.
Yes, everyone take +1
Oh,
forward
no.
except for Wick.
That's fine.
I
Okay,
think,
+1 forward.
What's our unforeseen reaction to the food?
yeah.
Confetti poop? I feel like
Which-
that's the most
which one?
fun.
Which one of us gets the shits, Nick? Which one?
Let me. Everyone roll a d6 that participates.
Including me.
Yes, including you, Wick, because you probably ate the meal still.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yes, Andy and I. We shit glitter.
Shannon,
Scan it. D6, please.
Shannon.
One.
Wait, so is it /R? Because I feel like I'm doing this wrong
/R
again. /R
space
space
1d6.
And it was like I thought I did that, but I didn't.
That's okay.
4.
Basil and
We all
Wick
die?
both have to skip out on their watch that particular night.
I get none of the benefits and all of the pain.
Why do I in my imagination when they poop it's like whenever you like do
Party
like one of
popper.
those noisemakers at a party.
Oh God.
I think each of you won't engage in any of the like leftovers. So please take -1 ration, each of you. As like the next day you just are like recovering and definitely need to eat something a little more stable.
Can I get like an extra 5 rations from that take +1, or is that a separate thing?
I am saying that your character won't do that because you will not risk it for the leftovers.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. Okay. Right on.
It's all good. But you do still get +1 forward. So there are leftovers, but you have thrown away yours of the pie. So Merrick and Cacophony might have a little bit left as you all approach this stone hut.
I think I'm gonna hold on to it just because I don't know if I can weaponize it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that frying pan is an awesome weapon. One of you guys should use it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go fucking use that shit.
Mhm.
Right. Can I also use it as a shield?
No.
Damn it.
If you were like a halfling, sure.
Okay. Well, and also headcanon, since we're heading up north, Cacophony is like getting fatter.
Oh, I can't hold it.
Like she's
Actually,
just,
it's too heavy.
like puffing up. Like all her
Can
feathers.
Can someone put on the sheet like some things for me? I don't know who's in control of it currently. If no one is, I'll do it. But
I can add stuff to the bag of holding if you want.
okay, I want to put my dungeon rations, Valor's disguises, and that's
You
it.
have four. You have 4 dungeon rations left because we lost one,
Yeah.
and then Baylor disguises.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Great.
Thank you.
Right.
Got it.
So put the frying pan back in the bag of holding them rather than bringing a cursed leftovers to this person's door. But I think we walk forward and knock politely. At least Basil and Chives do.
The door hinges squeak open, and you're just hit with the blast of hot, moist air with just bready smells, with like all kinds of herbs. There's even salt on the air. It just smells incredible. And you are greeted with two piercing yellow eyes in the eye sockets of a dwarf. Let me just read my notes here. He is dressed in a white clothing and a baker's hat. Around him, like, he opens the door wide, and for those of you who are taller than a dwarf, which I believe is all of you, you can see behind him, there are plates and bowls just covering surfaces filled with dough. And he says, "Why, hello there. Welcome. I am Melkar. What can I do for you, travelers?"
We missed a General Kenobi opportunity. Because I led us to this door. I'm sure someone else could do the introductions if they want it. I don't want to hog the scene.
You're the one at the door. Go.
Wait, what time of day is it?
Whenever you want it to be.
Good morning, friend.
Good morning.
What a lovely kitchen you have here. It smells absolutely divine. My friends and I are on our way through, and we just thought we would stop and say hello and compliment the wonderful smells coming from your hut.
Why, thank you very much. It's not often I get travelers coming through here who manage to find me all the way out here. Would you all be interested in coming in and having a bite of my loaf? So to speak.
Without catching the turn of phrase at all, Basil just go, "Oh, we'd love a bite of your loaf. It sounds delicious. Perhaps we could share a swig of gin as well."
Did you say gin? And he just pulls chairs over, clears a bit of space on the table, pushes a few bowls out of the way, and just like leaves the door open. Come in.
I think Cacophony's gonna push past me, like, "Yeah, we can't stay long," and just like barrel her way in. Can't stay, but she's already like grabbing things to like try and eat. So.
All right. So as you all come in and stand or sit around, more plates and bowls full of dough. The plates have like dough in various shapes of like creatures and people. And, they've got, like, raisins for eyes, and, they've got, like, some of them have, like a little bow tie of little scrap, like, made, or they've got, like, little, a tail here and there. They're all really cute. He has a massive oven made of stone, where the chimney is, and there is a huge batch currently in there. And he also has one on like a cooling rack. He's like, "It'll be done in just a second. Let me get my bread knife."
In Soto Voce to Wick, I whisper, "I didn't see any wheat growing outside, did you?"
No.
Who's this to?
Wick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alerting you to an inconsistency.
Well, at this point, if Wick doesn't trust the people he's closest to, there's no way he enters a stranger's home willingly and not be, like, 100% on guard. So he's like, yeah. We're in a forest. Where's he getting the weed from?
Questions.
Do you just say that out loud? Or
I said Soto Voce, like, under our breath, okay.
I communicate through eyebrow gestures, right?
That's right.
Melkar brings each of you a nice slice of bread from a huge loaf. He sets butter and honey on the table, and even some like mushed up fruit in a pseudo jam. And he's like, I also have meats if you'd like a sandwich.
The company wants to do discern realities because this far up north, hunting is difficult. If it's cold out, like where's he getting these meats?
Is it cold? I thought we were in summer.
It's summer, yeah. We're at the start of summer.
Okay,
But yeah,
never
give me a discern realities, please.
Still discern realities.
You ethically source your meat.
She is very bougie. She's a vain creature. She only puts the best.
The ham's name was Swinton. So with an 8, you get to ask me one question from the list below and take +1 forward when acting on the answers.
What here is not what it appears to be.
You swear, Shannon, you swear that on one of the plates you see one of the bread men move a little bit, like tilt its head up to look at you and then like put it right back down, and you catch it out of the corner of your eye, and you begin looking around. You see like little silhouettes of other bred animals and bred people hiding behind pots and pans around the whole house. About 20 of them. And they are carrying like little like knives and forks.
Okay, well, I think Cacophony is gonna like make a really good pantomime of pretending to eat, and then she's gonna try and get Basil's attention and just like make like very serious like mean mugging like attention, and I'm gonna like somehow do hand signals to be like they're alive.
That sounds like a defy danger charisma roll to me.
Is it?
It does.
Merrick starts making a sandwich.
Melkar will turn to Uwick and say, "Oh, how rude of me! Would you like some tea? I can put a kettle on."
Tea gives me trauma.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
tea.
Is there a village near here?
A village.
We're trying to resupply.
Oh, well, which way were you coming? Which way you headed?
I think north. Right? Merrick, north.
Heading north.
I see. Well, the elves are north in
Yeah.
their Dankwood forest. They have a little, I think they call it Vivend. Is their home.
They're nearby?
About a day or two north. You're almost there.
Are you evil?
Pardon me?
Are you evil?
Evil?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Are you evil?
In the man's home.
Was that a yes to the tea? I believe I was observing the right hospitalities. If I
You must excuse our friend. He
I just
comes
wanna
from
know.
a culture where evil means friendly. So, you know.
Oh, I see.
Is he playing dumb, Nick? Or I want to discern realities now.
We already have a discern realities.
Well,
For the
I want
scene.
to interfere him.
He's offering you tea. I mean, you can do stuff. He's not trying to do anything sly, from what you're observing.
Alright.
And he's like, you sir, it sounded like you wanted tea. I'll put a kettle on.
Think you're good, man.
Okay. As soon as little guy turns around, I'm gonna look at everybody in like very hushed whispers, and I'm gonna put my hands over the little bread creature's ears. I'm gonna fucking earmuffs that thing, and I'm gonna be like, these things are alive. This bread thing looked at me. If you look around the room very carefully, you will see little creatures made of bread holding silverware.
There,
We
takes
should
a
leave
good
this
hard
man
look at
alone.
his sandwich.
The one that you've like got a bite in already?
Yeah, is my sandwich moving?
No.
Okay.
It's dead now.
I'll take another bite.
Good call, Merrick.
I will pour 5 little glasses of gin.
Fantastic. So Shannon actually asked a very important question. What here is not what it appears to be. As a nod to the camera, these piercing yellow eyes that we're seeing are identical to one of the sexy battle wizards that we saw.
They're evil.
They are the same as Marigold, the bard.
Oh man.
Oh, it could be one of their kids.
Oh yeah, that's true. Marigold did like throw it around, right?
Sure.
Like just throwing it up, whatever was available. No,
Very true.
Am I misremembering? That was a horny wizard, as I recall.
If they don't do anything outwardly hostile, I don't think Wick would care if they have weird pet bread people running around.
I don't feel right eating sentient bread.
I'm gluten free.
Okay.
I'm eating the sliced bread that's already been sliced.
Oh.
Okay. So you serve up some gin. Are you interested in like parlaying with Melkar, or
I think I'm just laying. I'm stacking a stat for what we might need in a little bit here.
Okay.
Now I'm just friendly sharing a good sip of the untitled dram from Cedric's distillery.
Good stuff. This is fantastic. Thank you very much.
You can have my share.
Don't mind if I do. I'll like knock both shots back.
That's +2 forward. Get him! Get him, Mason!
Did you make a stat for Melkar's tolerance?
No. How many did you pour? 5?
Yeah, one for each of us, including...
Okay. Subtract 5 uses. Okay. All right. So he will ask you what you think of the bread. He will, make small talk with you and talk about how long he's been making bread. And he will ramble on about bread because he's a bread dude. He's been a bread dude in the pandemic. You're welcome to ask him questions, but eventually, he will just continue throwing various breads in his oven and taking them out and letting them cool. As he converses with you all.
I would like to get some of his sourdough starter. I want to make a trade. Can I give him some poison or some gold for some starter? That's what I want.
Oh, I'll happily sell you some of my sourdough starter. Here, I have a jar over here. I can put some in. And in fact, I keep several samples. So here, just take this one. That'll be 5 coin, please. The same as a run-of-the-mill killing in the player's handbook.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Cacophony would know that.
Cacophony would know that. Maybe.
I'm going to subtract some gold.
There you go.
Minus 5 gold. And I'm going to put some starter in the bag of holding.
Okay.
We can hand-wave the roleplay if you want, but I just want to know if this guy's affiliated with any group or if he knows any names that we can sort of, interact with down the road.
He does not mention knowing anyone.
Well, aren't you just the most strangest hermit in the woods?
That's how I like it.
Melkar, I didn't see any wheat growing out there. Where do you source this delicious grain?
Oh, well, I get my flour from the orcs to the south. They have plenty of farmland down there and are willing to trade.
Side question, do these little bread creatures count as animals, and does that mean I can talk to them?
You certainly can if you try.
All right, while Melkar is fussing and running back and forth to the oven, I lean down to one that I spotted by the leg of the table, and I just ask him, "Hey, little buddy, how you doing?"
Oh shit, he sees us! Fuck! I'm fine. How are you?
He doesn't try to run away, right? He just stands there.
He looks scared. It
Okay.
looks scared.
Chives has moved behind him to keep him from running away.
Oh, what the fuck is that? Is it gonna eat me? Shit!
You don't want to eat you. You don't want to eat you. Chives is sniffing at him, thinking about it.
Oh God, no!
We don't want to eat you. We just want to be your friends.
And several of the bread creatures with their forks and knives will like start hopping out. And like I don't know if y'all have seen the Borrowers from like the 90s, but it's like one of my favorite childhood movies.
Oh my God, I love that.
But they're like, yeah, get him. And Melkar catches that this is happening. He's like, whoa, no. It's okay, everyone. It's okay. They are our guests. I see you've seen my little breadmen.
How did
They're
you come
cute.
across these breadmen, Melkar?
Oh, well, it's the oven. It's enchanted, you see.
Hmm.
And you're feeding it to them? You're a monster.
I'm sorry?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh
I'll
no,
see myself out.
yours was never alive. Make no worry.
Red genocider. Uh-oh.
At those words, Cacophony's gonna go, oh, thank God. And she's gonna go, and just shove the whole piece of bread in her mouth.
Yes, and there is plenty more where that came from. But yes, I do have the ability to create life here. And
So the starter you gave me, not sentient?
No, not. I mean, it is a recipe of my own making, but there's nothing special about it. Listen, before things get weird, and I recognize that you outnumber me, and you all have the weapons. I simply want to live in peace here with my creations.
And you shall.
We don't see a problem with that. You're not trying to kill us. And you fed us. So that's
Your
like
bread
the
is
nicest thing you
amazing.
could do.
Oh, thank you very much. Come on now,
The bakers.
put the forks
have you traded
down.
with the Moss family before at the Hollows?
The Moss family from the Hollows. It's a bit far for me to travel to trade. The orcs, they come out to me now that I am making bread. It's one of their shopkeepers sells it at with some sort of creamy fruit on the top of it. I think they call it vocado. Vocado. I'm not sure. They say it sells makes a quite a bit of coin. Happy for them.
Willing. Excellent. Well, good for you. Maybe we can take a couple extra loaves to share with the Hollows. They might be new customers for you in the future.
Certainly. If you'd like to take it now or stop by later, I'd be happy to have you.
Be on the way
crash our economy. We're sustenance-based. The Schluters would never live for it.
Be on the way back. That would be lovely.
No kidding. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
I don't need to parlay him. I don't need to convince him of anything. He seems quite friendly.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's fine. All right. So, I think here is a good spot to take our first break before we reach the elves, which we'll do when we get back. We'll be right back. Woo!
Bye.
You've turned me into such a suspicious person in this game, so now I can't even seriously take on just a genuinely nice character.
Yep. We have to assume they're all trying to kill us.
Welcome to the adventurer's mentality, Andy. It only took us 17 sessions.
It would be killed.
Ugh.
All right, bear back.
Trust no one, not even yourself.
Oh, hey, our audio is still live, you guys.
Uh-oh.
Audio's live.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. just adjusted.
Oh my god.
Okay.
We're live.
This is the second time I tried to come in. I was waiting for a pause. We are back. It's all good.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so you all leave Melkar's cabin with his living bread folks, and you take the rest of your 2 day. I believe it was 2 days more to make it to the elves. So you made really good time since Merrick got a 10 plus as the Trailblazer. So you made it in like 4 days instead of a week. So really, really good time. Just navigated around some dense forest and didn't get stuck. It's fantastic. As you are getting pretty close to the area that is marked on the map as Vivend, within the dank forest, you hear something very large approaching in the distant. Giving off a sound, you have it's like a stomping sound that you probably have never heard before, and it is shaking the earth. Birds are flying off of trees as the sound is approaching. And as it draws closer, or as you approach, there is creaking and snapping sounds in a rhythm that cuts through all the other noises of the forest. It sounds like roots are being pulled from the earth, and there's slamming down onto the earth, creaking and cracking of wood, and then another thud. And then roots being pulled, creaking, cracking, thud. And through the trees, you see the shape of a walking tree, a great tall walking tree. It is in fact an ent, walking processionally through the woods.
Are we like out of the way, or is it like coming straight towards us?
It's walking tangentially, but on a vector right past you all.
Wick will stop and look at it. This is probably a moment of great wonder to him.
Cacophony wants to get up in a tree to see higher.
Sure.
I'll come
Same.
stand next to me.
The ent walks with its arms folded towards its chest, and it is heading north, same as you. It just happens to be moving quite a bit faster than you all, so it has caught up from like a different path, and it is now converging with you all. Yeah. Cacophony, are you making a discern realities check here?
Sure, yeah.
It sounded like you were getting up in the air, so feel free to take
Yeah, I
+1
wanted
from
to.
your racial bonus.
And then where a
That
not bad.
is a
A
9. So you get to ask one more question and take +1 forward when acting on the answers. What happened here recently? What is about to happen? What should I be on the lookout for? What here is useful or valuable to me? Who is really in control here? And what is not what it appears to be?
You have an additional +1 from the fried fish.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I do.
That's a 10. You get 3 questions.
Thank
Nice.
you. Good call.
Okay.
Okay, so then what happened here recently? Definitely. And then I mean, because we're in the woods, right? Like, so like
Do you want to just start there?
yeah, yes.
Okay. So as you fly up into the tree and watch the ent move past, you will like fly up behind it and just kind of take a glance back at the path that like it has walked through the forest, and you see that there is a large hill off in the distance. Yeah, a hill with a really large cliff face. And it appears to have beelined from there. you also in the distance, like with your sharp, selky eyes, you see that there are other Ents in the direction of that cliff face, and they are laying on the ground, not moving.
Jeez.
Okay, well that's terrible. I will relay that information to my party. What is about to happen is my next question. Or wait, should it be what's about to happen, or what should I be on the lookout for? What do you guys think?
Go with your gut.
What's about to happen?
Not much. The Ent is going to continue walking north, and in fact, the Ent like turns and looks at Basil, Merrick, and Wick off to the side, who are just like looking up at this Ent, and it just they say the Ent like pauses for a moment and speaks and says, "Be gone, meatbags," and begins walking again.
Rude.
So rude, right? Like that guy is mad. Okay, what
Right.
here is? Go ahead.
No, please go ahead. Sure.
I was gonna say, what here is useful or valuable to me?
That is a good question. Okay, I'm going to give you the option here. You can ask me what here is useful or valuable about the Ent, or what here is useful or valuable at the cliff site.
Take it to a vote. I can't decide.
Oh my gosh. Just pick.
Either. I hate making
You have
choices.
to pick. I'm sorry. You got to pick.
God damn it! All right,
I
the
know.
cliff side then.
Trust your bird brain.
All right.
Cliff side.
Cacophony darts back towards the cliffside. And there you see that the Ents, there are two of them laying on the ground. They have been hacked up. And they are dead. It would appear that they, like, their legs and arms were chopped at. And there is a cave here. And then
Is it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is it like, how far away is this cave? Like, can I like dip into it, or do I need to get back
you can
to it?
dip into this cave.
Okay.
You can see as you look around the site, there are spots in the ground where it looks like there were tree roots of 3 distinct trees that are no longer there. You suspect that is where Ents were planted immediately outside the front of this cave. And inside the cave, it looks like there is some sort of shrine, and the shrine is empty.
How close are we to this thing?
To the Ent or to the cliff?
The shrine.
I mean, Cacophony can fly and is super fucking fast, so it's about like a half a mile away, but Cacophony clears that real quick.
Okay.
So, are there any like clues as to like who the shrine is for? Like, is it clearly for Raven, or is it for Flo, or is anything? Any like clues or symbols, I guess, is what I'm.
Yeah, there is a
I think might know about this too.
a pedestal there that has a bunch of dust on it, and there appears to be a box-shaped impression where there is no dust.
Gotcha. Okay.
There are also signs of a lot of foot traffic through here of normal, like, U-sized boots.
It's like human sized. It's like normal people
Yes.
boots.
Yes, people boots.
Y-O-U, not Y-E-W, is in the tree.
Yes, exactly.
Cute.
Nice.
All right.
Well played. Well
Yeah.
played.
Okay. I will relay all of this to my compatriots.
Okay.
I will immediately ask everybody to move towards the cave, and I will start looking around for small pools of water on our way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there's like, dew in the grass. There are puddles of mud and water from just normal natural collection.
Before we move to a crime site to be discovered by whatever comes to seek out what did this, Wick will state what I just did. Are we sure we want to move to the site of a crime and contaminate the crime scene?
Merrick will tell everybody that he just wants to see what is there, and then he will pull everybody back. I would like to go observe, see what I see the shrine, see the Ents, and then pull us back to a small pool in the forest.
We're not gonna touch anything or like
No,
go digging. Okay, cool. We're just
we're
going to
going to see cacophony.
Full
I don't.
Indiana Jones rules. Look, don't touch.
Can I? Yeah, right. Can I stay outside of the cave, like as a lookout, because like I've already seen like what's inside of there.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just want to kind
Cacophony.
of.
I'll do the same
Cacophony.
thing.
Don't you want to see? Don't you want to see what happened?
No.
Come with me.
Well,
Worm knows all.
you can tell me after. I'm gonna be outside of this cave, making sure that big tree guy doesn't come back and make you into like jelly.
Basil will go with you to watch you commune.
I don't need to commune. Nick, I would like to go to a small pool of water and I would like to cast a spell.
Wonderful. Give me your spell. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wait, so we're not.
I have +1 forward. I should be fine.
You actually also have +2 forward, one from the food and one from the discern realities.
Wonderful. It's a 15. Does my +1 forward go away then? Am I back to normal at this point?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Just checking. I'm going to cast the spell I had prepared for today. Not for this, but this will totally work. I'm going to cast Divination, Nick. Name a person, place, the thing you want to learn about. Your deity grants you visions of the target as clear as if you were there.
Wow.
I would like to ask
Oh my
Worm
god.
That's a really
to
good
show
one.
me the death of these Ents and what surrounds it.
Okay.
Wait a minute. No.
I can tell you.
Yeah. Show me.
Yes.
Show me. Damn, but I want to phrase the question correctly. So give me a quick moment.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not at the cave. We're now in the forest at the water, right?
Yeah. Show me
Okay,
the
cool.
events that caused this shrine to be defiled.
Oh, very good. Okay. So let's first talk about this comment you made. Worm knows all. I don't know if I've made it clear to you until now exactly how your relationship with Worm and your magic works. Worm does not have all of the answers, but the way he recruited you and talks about the work you do and your relationship, you are a conduit for him. He basically has the power and you are the person in the field, like being the conduit for his action. He of course leaves it up to you to ask what magic you need, and he provides that to you. So he sees what you see when you perform magic, and he knows what is happening in that moment anytime you are using magic, at least to the extent that you know what is going on. He's been as confused as you when your magic's been stolen. He's been as confused as you when it doesn't work.
I'm totally grandstanding here just a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, well, perfect. That's perfect.
Intentionally grandstanding.
I just wanted to verbalize that since we haven't before. So he shows you, or you both see, through this magic, you see these 3 Ents planted outside of this shrine. They are resting and sleeping, eventually, or every now and then, like stretching and looking around, keeping watch. But they are here as guardians, as far as you can tell, of this shrine. And then a band of orcs comes out of the forest, charging forward with large axes. And they just begin hacking and slashing down at these Ents. As the Ents try to defend themselves, they are like walloping on a couple of the orcs who are well armored. And in fact, they are wearing some of the armor that you saw like at Galler Hall. That is the visual that is being evoked here. They are chopping down their legs, chopping at their arms when they get an opportunity to do so. And eventually, two of them are killed. And while the third one, who seems to be the third Ent, who is a lot bigger, is like defending himself, several orcs run into the shrine and they emerge carrying a box. You would recognize it as a very similar in ornamentation and design as another box we've seen holding Lyrica's ruby.
The Elder Rubies.
And then the orcs who flee with the box shout at their companions who are fighting the large Ent, the Ent that you saw walking away, and they all flee. The Ent watches them leave and tries to like attack after them. They manage to escape, and this Ent walks over to his dead companions and begins to reach into their chest and pulls out rubies from the Ent's chests and begins to walk north.
Can I ask Nick a question real quick?
Yes.
For my own mental aesthetic here.
Yeah.
Are these Ents like Lord of the Ring Ents or like Warcraft 3 Ents that sort of like lumber around and root and throw boulders?
Let me look up Warcraft 3 Ents real quick just to refresh my mind.
Like that is also Lord of the Rings Ents.
Kind of.
Just described.
Kind of.
Lord of the Rings are kind of more thin and gangly. And
I think they're
these are like gnarls of wood that just fuck shit up.
They are massive oak trees. So I would say somewhere in between. Like they are stocky like Warcraft 3 Ents, but they are tall as well.
But they're not like two arms, two legs that have been like scraped or carved into looking like a person.
No, like they're a full fucking tree that has some, arm and leg like looking properties, but mostly looks like a tree.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Like one of the Ents has like 3 legs and 4 arms. One of the Ents has 2 legs and 2 arms.
Just being trees.
Yeah, they're just being trees. They like, we don't know much about how elves become trees, but you'd imagine like they started out as tree, or how elves become Ents, but they were placed in a tree.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we have to follow the Ent, guys. Unless we need to talk about this more.
I will remind you that the orcs at Galler Hall have groups that go to collect magical items. This is probably one of these groups, but I'm not so sure if Galler Hall would be approving of this method.
They are called pilgrimages.
Pilgrimages, that's right.
Pillagers, yes.
You said this thing walks way faster than we could walk. Does that mean I can hunt and track it?
Yes. I mean, it is making a trail. Cacophony was able to follow the trail back here. So
requiring hunting or tracking. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know if the forest like reforms around their footprints or something.
That would be cool.
That's a really good question.
I'm gonna point this out because I think Basil would have a choice here. The Ent is not the only thing you can hunt and track.
Oh.
Yeah.
The orc attack was like that recent?
I mean, It was fairly recent.
Basil looks for orc tracks. Sorry, I want to stop asking you questions.
What? Let's take a look at hunt and track.
Boop. Okay. +2 going forward.
Okay. So there is a trail here leading away from the battlefield, but once like a lot of the foot traffic reconverges and
it's
they get
7, Nick.
Oh, it is a 7. From the food and from the +1 or the discern realities.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Can you click that again until you get a 7 to 9?
Zoop.
Perfect.
Boom.
Okay, when you follow a trail of clues left behind by passing creatures, you follow a creature's trail until there is a significant change in its direction or mode of travel. Yeah, so...
River or cliff or something, or...
What's that?
Like a river or a cliff, or...
So they actually reach a spot where you see wagon tracks. And evidence of beasts of burden pulling a wagon.
In a forest?
Yes.
Are they...
It's not a wedding present wagon.
No, probably not.
They should be easy to catch them. If they're hauling a 4-wheeled thing through root-covered... Are we on a road?
Not yet.
Boy. All right, let's keep following.
Yep, give me another hunt track, please.
With haste.
Okay.
Holy shit.
I'll take
That's
XP.
2 ones.
Basil, how? What's going through his mind as he's tracking? Are you in like a fevered rush here? Are you going mad with vengeance? Your ancestors have been pillaged? Their tombs robbed?
I've been breathing too much forest spores. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Melkar's bread, or we're followed by little breadkin people and they're fucking up the trail. I don't know.
No, but how do you feel about this, though?
Yeah.
How do I feel about what? About fucking up the hunting track?
No,
your people.
the elves or the Ents being slaughtered by orcs and their items stolen as you immediately went to track them. Like, what's running through your head right now? Are you out to go like slaughter orcs? Or are you out to go find them and talk to them?
I'm about to find. I would like to
hand?
find them and I would like to find them and try and get back these things that they've stolen because that's why I collected the chest full of elven rubies from Wick. I'm trying to learn more about the elves and trying to ingratiate myself into them. So having reclaimed something of theirs and something of the Ents will be a good introduction.
You follow the trail.
We'll also be freeing people from bonds.
I'm sorry.
Theoretically. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I interrupted. My apologies. You follow the trail out to... There is a road nearby, and you see that they turn south towards the direction of Gallerhall, and you've stepped out of the forest, or maybe there is a trail through the forest rather, and it's pretty straight, but there are some bends, and there is no sign of the orcs.
Cacophony, fly and find them.
It's clear where they're going.
Yeah.
They'll be going to Gower Hall.
Yeah.
Well, if we want to catch them before they're in the city, we need to make this decision.
I think the 3 represents that they have made their getaway.
Okay. Well, fuck our day then.
Would you recognize these orcs if you saw them again? Could you
A good question. Did we
pull them out of a lineup or describe? I don't know.
I think
someone will have
Give
it,
me
right?
Give me an intelligence check, Merrick.
People isn't charisma? No, I'm fucking with you. I'm so sorry. I'm trolling.
Yeah,
7.
there is one that was not masked, and your vision gave a clear look at.
You said you wanted to ask the people of Gallerhall if this was in keeping with their philosophy.
Oh, I know the name of this character.
Do we go to Gower Hall, or do we go to the elves with their knowledge?
We can go to the elves. We'll tell them we'll get their crystal back and they can join our alliance and blah blah blah.
I think that's the better play. Besides, we were probably going to the orcs next anyways.
On board.
Does anyone have a problem with us using this to our advantage?
Oh.
It's the right thing to do anyways.
Yeah,
We
I
are
was gonna
manipulating
say,
a little bit here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just
Alright,
being
let's
good
go.
good Samaritans, you know.
I would say good diplomats. Basil, when we reach the elves, I feel like you should take the lead and talk to them. You are their kin. They will respect you more than they will respect us.
I can. I have not even known of my elf parentage until very recently, so I don't know how much cultural competency I can share, but I can definitely present myself as part elf and try to ingratiate. Maybe we can, find out that we've returned these elven rubies that Lucerne had, and offer to help restore them.
Sounds good. Hopefully, I'll be able to recreate my magics and show them what happened if they wish to see it.
Andy, Basil has the Elder Ruby, right? That Lucerne had?
My thing just says it's the 12 elven rubies collected from Lucerne's fully clean cottage, the chest where there's minuscule blood evidence of Lucerne's murder.
Yeah, so none.
So none.
Yeah, I think it's still hidden then. We kind of hand waved me hiding it, but fuck. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We have what we want to have. Let's go to the elves,
We're
guys.
gonna return them. Yeah, the elves.
To the
Walk.
elves, good.
Okay. You all follow the wake of the Ent's path, and eventually you arrive at your destination of Vivend. And it is underwhelming. You expected that the elves, some of the oldest living kin among the Ravenlands, the most sophisticated in some sense, the most in tune with nature, would have some sort of grand society. You know, Vivend is supposed to be like their capital, or so you've been told. There's not a lot of other places marked on your map for where the elves could be, or that you've heard about in legends. And there's just a few like open air buildings, like open concept buildings, just completely exposed to the elements in the middle of nature. But you see that an Ent has gathered in an open glade along with many other elves. And as you approach the city, you walk past an elf in a simple tunic who is just laying on a log, staring up at a tree.
Friend, hello.
Oh, hello
How are you?
there. What brings you here, young one?
We are seeking an audience. We've been made aware of some tragic events nearby recently, and we'd like to visit and see how you're doing.
He is just deadpan staring straight up at the tree branches above him. Oh, okay. Well, I think they're talking about that over there.
Thank you. Enjoy your contemplation.
Oh, I have been for a long time. Watch this tree grow up. It's a good tree.
I agree. It is lovely. So very, very uncomfortably just sideways walks away.
Yeah, there is like grass and weeds and stuff like growing up from underneath this dude.
Are there mushrooms as well, Nick?
Yes, like evidence that this guy has just been here a very, 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 very long time.
Is he damaged? Is he
No.
like?
No.
What a sophisticated culture.
They're
Let's
nihilistic
find out.
elves.
No kidding.
All right.
Okay.
People are allies.
So you pay this gentleman no mind, and you walk up to where you believe the action is happening. There are a large number of elves sitting around the perimeter of this glen, this clearing. No, is a glen a collection of trees?
The
A
cops.
glade? A copse?
A copse. It's a copse.
Oops. Hell
Copse, whatever it's called. There are a lot of just very like gentle and still observing elves around the perimeter, and then there is a group of elves in the middle, all discussing something with the Ent. There is taking point of the conversation, representing a group of like armored elves that look like ready to fucking go.
Yes.
There is a woman talking to the Ent, like who is, of course, standing like several stories above them, but the Ent, I think, has knelt down at this point, so maybe only like 1 story tall, maybe 1.5 stories tall, and then. So they are dressed in like red leather and armors. They have bows and swords on them, and pinned to their lapels and bandoliers and things. You see imagery of like red flowers, dried red starfish, and even some jewelry like that is like red painted gold or copper or silver, but it is all red. Also conversing are some other very naturey looking folks who we would just recognize their garb as very druidic, kind of like heavier robes, lots of actually a lot of the probably shared imagery with Basil, with lots of like flowers in their hair and tucked into various spots of their clothes. And they all are wearing pins that look like little tree branches or like tree branches that are painted gold, that are pinned to their lapels. No, I'm sorry, it's not golden trees. They are dandelions specifically. Dandelions all pinned to their robes. But everyone around the perimeter appears to just be in basic tunics with nothing pinned to their clothing. And you walk up, and the elves, the 2 lead elves, are kind of discussing what has transpired and what they want to do about it. Do you all sit and listen? Do you interject?
Do they not address the 4 strangers who just walked into their hovels?
I think you start getting eyed by a lot of the red elves and the dandelion elves, but the people engaged in conversation are deep in it.
Perhaps we can help.
The conversation stops, and a woman, the female elf who's taken the lead for the red armored elves, has jet black hair, and she stops what she's saying and turns and looks at you and says, "Why, hello there, half-elf. Welcome to Vivend. Who have you brought with you, and who are you? I don't believe I've seen you around here before."
No, you would not. This is literally my first interaction with the elf people. But that's a story for another time. I have come with my friends and my adventuring crew. We've been sent on a diplomatic mission, though we were able to divine some information of what transpired at the shrine nearby, and we thought we would come offer some assistance and information as it could help.
She carefully considers this information and kind of looks over at the other group. with the dandelions and says, "Very well. We would welcome information on what transpired. Please, friends, come sit. Or come join us." And they like open up their circle a bit more to make room for you. So, as our Ent here tells us, there was an attack of orcs who killed 2 of our Ents and took a valuable relic from our shrine. Is this what you gathered? Were you witness to the events?
Witness after the fact. If I try to recreate my divination, Nick, for them, so they can see the event, do you need me to roll again, or can I just recreate the magic?
Is that something that the spell lets you do?
It does not. I'm asking you if narratively it would make more sense for me to just recreate the vision since I've done so and succeeded already.
Does the
Can
same
you
magic
show
on like
us
a
your
pool
visions?
of water?
Yes, I showed my vision to Cacophony. You decided to stand guard by the shrine.
Okay. He's already showed the vision once, right?
I think you'll need to roll it again. But you can show them the exact vision if you succeed.
Okay. I will tell them that I will attempt to show you the vision of what we've seen. A band of orcs assaulting your Ents. An unmasked orc whose face I can recognize as they stole the ruby or whatever, stole the box out of the shrine and fled to the south toward Galler Hall. We were able to track them to a road and then lost their tracks. And then came to share information with you.
Okay. You show them the vision, but it'll cost you. You either draw unwelcome attention to yourself, putting yourself in a spot. You distance yourself from your deity, taking -1 ongoing, or you lose the spell.
Does it still have one of his +1s?
That's
They're all...
+1 forward is a one-time use.
But
Yeah. I think I'll take -1 ongoing to cast a spell until
Okay.
I communicate.
Sounds good.
And then I will show them the scene. I will ask for a bowl of water to be brought before me, and I will place it in front of everybody, and I will weave my magic and show them a picture of what is transpired.
Okay.
That's so cool, Merrick.
Wow, you're so cool, Merrick.
They're so cool. It's almost like you have a pool that can look back in time. A time pool, if you will.
Almost.
Very well, says the black-haired, red-armored woman. I will work with our network to see if we can retrieve the ruby from Galler Hall. The Red Runners will handle this. If you and the rest of the Golden Bough can tend to the Ents, and she like looks around the cops, says, "See if you can use this to recruit some of our less active community members to join the Red Runners or the Golden Bough. Our numbers are getting quite low. Perhaps see if any of the elves without bodies would like to become Ents, perhaps? I know we have one less shrine to defend, but still, they too are growing fewer in number."
Basil.
Perhaps we can show our good faith and share with you our efforts to restore the numbers of the elves in this world, and present the ruby chest.
You said ruby, 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 and I just saw like a roulette wheel in a casino just hit ruby, ruby, ruby.
That's what I called it in my inventory, was ruby, 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 ruby.
Oh my god. This is... this is amazing work. says the black-haired woman, and the golden bow leader steps forward and says, "Geez, this is more rubies than you all have collected in the last 6 months since the mist lifted."
Some of these were recovered from the Rust brothers, and some were recovered from other hiding places where they had been stolen to.
The black-haired woman will say, "This is quite generous of you. Thank you, especially for standing up to the Rust brothers. I'm sure it was not an easy task." And then she kind of like looks at the rest of you, but it looks like you have good companions. What is your name, young half-elf?
Basil.
Basil.
Do not. Yes.
Excellent. A good name.
My companions are Cacophony, Wick, and Merrick, and Chives.
No matter. And she gives you kind of like an up and down look. And she says, "My name is Tender Robin, and I am the leader of the Red Runners. Have you heard of us?"
No.
Okay.
What my companion wishes to say is we have not had the
Yeah.
I see. Well, let me give you the orientation. We are proactive elves who recognize that the other kin of the Ravenlands oftentimes covet our jewels for various reasons. And those vermin that seek to possess our rubies, trapping our souls and desecrating our beauty, we have vowed to perish them and recover our lost brothers, sisters, and siblings.
How reasonable.
We would see those who would trap us immortal beings eradicated, not hung, and see those of us who have been worn around necks and fingers returned to their bodies and their people. We are elves and half-elves who work closely with other interested and trusted parties to recover rubies. We have been engaged in work since I started our order a few decades ago.
This is a side question. Was Luceren a Red Runner?
No.
He was not nearly as paranoid to be a proper soldier as these heroes were. Wick has questions for this whenever Basil is done. I need a
My
question.
companions may have questions to ask. Would you please confer with them? They might better serve and help your cause.
She looks annoyed at this request. Basil.
I nudge the cloth of rubies forward as if to sort of emphasize the exchange happening here.
Yes, of course. Other questions? Please. My name is Tender Robin, if I did not say so before. Several of my companions. This is Dank Dew and Hallow Hog. She gestures to two of the Red Runners behind her.
Hallow Hog?
Hallow, Hallow, Hallow Hog. He goes by Hog.
What a hero.
And I go by Dank, says another half-elf behind her.
A half-elf?
Yes.
Are all the Red Robin guys?
No.
Some are.
Hallow Hog is an elf, and Dank is a half-elf.
Hi, okay. Look to Cacophony and Merrick. You good? Nothing? Alright, cool.
Go ahead.
Oh, noble warrior, elf, I beseech your leader, on behalf of the Hollows, and Torvald Stormbeard. I've already forgotten his name. I've been drinking too much Jameson. Where's my notes?
Orvald
I don't
Stormeye.
have them. Stormeye, yes. Oh, it's literally printed right in front of me. I am Wick Moss, yes.
Perhaps human? You have not met the elves before, but we have no need for hierarchies and power structures the way that your kind do. We have no leader.
Lucerne told me otherwise. Do you know them?
You know Lucerne?
I did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And what is your association with Lucerne?
He was a mentor of mine.
He always... You say he was a mentor of mine?
I reach into one of my bag pouches and unwrap a, I suppose, Kleenex or handkerchief or smithing rack with a bunch of ruby fragments in it. During our assault, well, not our assault, but our town was assaulted by Iron Brothers. He was killed sometime before them.
We were assaulted. He died before that.
Yes.
You're being
No
very coy.
untruths in that statement.
I'm not coy. That's very...
Give me a defy danger charisma, Wick.
The statement is definitely perjury against the conversation that Wick and I had after the battle.
I understand that.
Okay.
Charisma?
Defy danger charisma.
Easy.
Would anyone like to help? And make that a 10 plus, potentially.
Probably not. You'd have to, like, take him at his word that he's being truthful.
I wonder if even Basil might, in the story, hinder to be like, you told me he was still alive after the battle.
I don't know if I did. Did I?
When we had a conversation after the battle and I got the rubies, I was like, have you seen Lucerne? And you were like, he's around here somewhere.
So even if you
That
did
wasn't a
interfere,
lie.
you can't change.
That's true.
You can't change his outcome because you would only reduce it to a 7.
Yeah, you're right.
But
It's okay. I won't fuck shit up. I will hold in my question for later.
Okay.
Merrick, would you back Wick not knowing if he's telling the truth?
Ooh.
Has Wick ever lied to you before, Merrick, or been
No,
misleading?
he's actually incredibly honest and blunt at all times.
Wait, shouldn't Cacophony be the one who's excited to lie to somebody?
she likes stealing
Cacophony
shit.
hates me.
What was it that you said to him one more time?
Cat tried to bite me. Sorry.
What did I say to Merrick specifically?
To her.
No. To Tender Robin.
Tender Robin.
Lucerne died sometime before the battle that took over the hall. Something like that, man. I can't verbatim myself.
I think Merrick would step up and say, trying to aid in this case, and say, it was a horrendous battle.
Okay.
The Rust Brothers and Iron Brothers laid siege to the Hollows. Many died. Many were displaced. Many horrors were faced. It was a hard time.
Give me your aid, please.
Don't roll like shit. Please.
I'll take off the negative spell modifier. That would give me a -1. Nope, I rolled it.
Whatever. It's a 9.
Mark XP and
Yep.
Tender Robin extends her hands to receive the ruby as Wick makes this very vague and confusing statement. And then your attempt to like jump in and kind of like cover for him, and she's just like eyeing the two of you and then takes the ruby. Merrick, you have been implicated in the consequences of this roll. Which is just side-eye for now.
We're all implicated anyway.
There's clearly more to the story.
Thank you for returning the the remains of our brother to us.
You're welcome, but this is not just a personal matter of why we're here. I produce the letter from Torvald Stormeye and assumedly Rick Moss back in the Hollows. We are trying to make a grand alliance of sorts to be rid of the Iron Brother threat, which plagues us all, and I believe, although did not directly take part in the raiding of your shrine, would have done so if given the opportunity. After all, these, I gestured to the ruby she already has, were recovered from them specifically.
I see. Well, you have done the Red Runners and the Elven people, particularly these elves, a great service.
For sure.
I will consider this letter in private on behalf of the Red Runners and share it with other interested parties.
I brought copies. If anyone wants an extra.
There are names or names of various kin on them.
Oh, well, fuck.
We
can make copies.
It is
I know
no
how
matter.
to write.
We elves have a trusted bond with one another, and I am happy to share the letter and make my case to other elves on my behalf, or on your behalf, for this request. Thanks. But for now, we have an artifact we need to recover from the orcs. So I must go and make plans with my siblings.
We have allies in Galler Hall and time and experience there. Perhaps we can help.
Really? What is your association with the orcs?
Merrick.
We have we have a devotee of the pursuit of knowledge akin to theirs, and experience as a group with one of their own. He owes us a life debt, frankly. The not peeing on us debt as well.
No more details necessary.
Doesn't he owe us a romantic entanglement debt as well? We helped that guy a lot.
No, we didn't really do that for him.
Okay.
I tried.
I sucked. But
we did try.
He owes us a lot.
He owes us a lot.
Under his breath, Basil's like, no, he's great. He's a good guy. He's a friend of ours. Come on.
I mean, he's the best. He's totally, he is the guy. He is the one you want to talk to if you need some shit done. So.
Excellent. Well, is there any other business that you have with the elves, or will you be departing?
It'd be nice to know what we'd be looking for to get for you if we're heading there.
Right. Yes. Well, as you saw in the vision, there is a box. And within it is a very large ruby, one of our revered ancestors.
Okay, we have one of these on our person right now, don't we? From the Dragon Cave?
Yes, you do.
You should.
Where is that?
And Lyrica's, I think, is still buried.
Yeah, she is buried, but...
Bag of a holding?
Should be in the bag of holding. We didn't write it down that it was in there, but that was kind of skipped over when we went over our loot.
That's fine. I don't care. Like, you tell me where it is. That's fine.
It's in the bag of holding.
Perfect.
Something like ... looking at cacophony.
I guess now is not the time for her burgeoning career as a street magician to like surface, because all she really wants to do is like pull it out of her ear, but she's like, no, don't do it. Just time and a place. Read the room, cacophony. Read the room.
Fail at sleight of hand and like just drop this precious thing onto the ground in front of them. You know?
Yeah,
just shatters.
He's like, you mean this? Yeah, no, like party poppers. So yeah, Do I need to roll to pull it out of the bag, or?
Yes. It is a wisdom roll, I believe.
You're right.
There is a move on the special moves character sheet.
We just keep pulling out random shit.
Or did I? No, actually, I think I added it to your character sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that.
I'm scared. Okay. Hey.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, choose one. You get the exact item, but it takes a while, or you get a similar item of the GM's choice, but it only takes a moment.
I'm gonna go with the exact item, and I'm gonna just have my bag of holding, and it's gonna be like Mary Poppins style. Like I'm gonna have like half of my body full on in it, just like digging shit around, like moving things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a finger up and be like, oh, just one more minute, and then I'm just gonna keep digging and looking and being absolutely obnoxious about it.
Very much the vibe of getting into someone's passenger seat when they have the car covered in trash and they're just throwing
Absolutely.
shit in the back, you know?
Yeah. Very much so.
Like, just one more minute, I promise.
Just a second. You just hop in. I got it.
All right. After some foot tapping begins, you pull out the large ruby.
Like this?
Oh my god. Is that? Oh my god.
I didn't catch his name.
Frank, who is it?
Oh, Francois?
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm calling him Frank.
Hang on. I'm looking at my notes on this elf.
I'm holding the elf.
I want to seem mysterious. I am preeminent knowledge now.
Are we just being followed by a big dick ghost this whole time?
Yes.
This
Nice.
ghost is literally inside of Wick, though.
He gets ghost junk when it happens because
I have magical genitalia now. You better watch it, mister.
canonically Wick doesn't have junk, but when
That's true.
Francois inhabits him,
Okay.
when Francois is inside of him,
We become one.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
I
one,
should be stopped.
the leader of the Golden Bow, who you catch, their name is Roseweld. And that's a he/him. Roseweld steps forward and says, I recognize my mentor, Nebulos. And he, seizes the ruby. And, Simba's it.
Dive, if you will.
Circle of Life's it.
Nice.
Nice. You're welcome.
Oh, my dear. This is
We
incredible.
will take, reward in cash or food.
Hey, what? Come on.
Okay, fine. You can have your stupid ruby.
We hope this goes well to the offers we have presented.
Such a
Thank you.
strong argument.
I think
Okay.
Basil, having not been raised by the elves, would look at Rose and be like, "You're pretty impatient for someone who lives forever. Chill."
Sorry, who was that at?
Rose.
Roseweld. Yes.
Roosevelt.
Catching shit out of people's hands is an
Zero
impatient gesture
chill.
for an immortal being. So
It's not so much impatient as you're picking up on some vibes towards everyone but Basil. Dismissive vibes.
Elitist.
Be kind
They're-
to my kin. They're closer to me than I am to the elves right now.
Right. And they're
I'm saying I
treating
said that in the story.
they're treating them they're treating you like you are animals.
I mean, I am, to be fair.
He
I
is. True.
am smarter than the average crow, I guess.
Thank you for the ruby, bird.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite impressive, says Tender Robin, and she's tapping her foot again. She sounds a little annoyed.
Oh, she's all bent out of shape because we're doing her job so much better than she is, right? Am I picking up on this right, guys? She's mad because I'm so great at this. Is
Will
that?
Are
you
you saying
calm?
this out loud?
I'm gonna whisper shout it to Basil.
Yes.
We're offering to help these people and just shit talking them the entire time. This is good diplomacy.
Yes.
If they're not treating me well, then I'm gonna be prickly.
Calm down. Different strokes for different folks, right?
I'm sorry, Tender Robin. What were you saying?
Yes. Such rubies are exactly what we're looking for. And returning this one has gone a long way to relations with your kins and community.
Wonderful.
Another would be amazing.
A military alliance worthy event?
Ideally, the 14 rubies you've just acquired today could at least garner some kinder interaction with people who are trying to help you.
Well, we all have a common goal here. Protecting our people from those who threaten us. It is very clear that we are all under threat by the Brothers of Rust.
Forgive me. It is not often that I work with kin that are not elf in descent, and I forget that even with such short lives that you have, you are important
People.
and can achieve great things nonetheless. You have my
whether we live long lives or short lives, all of our lives can end in a moment. It is at times like these when we need to band together. If the Hollows calls upon you for aid against the Brothers of Rust, would you be willing to join us?
Let's give him a moment to confirm, Eric.
I think it is a little early for commitments to alliances, as we have only met for in-game time 30 minutes.
We understand completely. I think we're good here, right?
I think it would behoove us to get to know each other better.
I agree.
Let's get to know each other better over a victory drink after we've returned your other missing rubies.
Very
Be
well.
on our way.
At least one of them.
You are heading out so soon?
If you will help us replenish our stores, we will begin making our way.
Very well. If there is anything else you need, please do not hesitate to ask. But I will leave you in the very capable hands of Dank.
Okay. I need to ask Dank something. Kind of a personal matter.
Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, what do you need? Come on over here. Talk to me.
Hey, I'm over here, brother. All right.
It sounds like it's something kind of personal, private. You know, just like
Yeah.
Step into my office, and he stands next to a tree.
We go underneath the. We stand in the shade. Dank, was it? Do you happen to know if Luceren had any direct kin or family or close relations? He mentioned people he disagreed with, and.
Oh yeah, dude. So Luceren, I'm a pretty young elf. I never met Luceren. He left long before I, sprouted. But yeah, he doesn't have a great reputation around here. Whenever people talk about him, it's like, yeah, it's yeah. And we don't really think about family the way that y'all do. Yeah, I've had kids, she's had kids, he's had kids, but once they're kind of sprouted and going, we're kind of all a family, right?
Oh.
Yeah,
we have we know an animal that's kind of similar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're called dogs. Have you heard of them?
Yeah. Dogs,
They don't
yes.
have family ties either.
Yeah,
It's pretty
dogs,
cool.
like you guys, they're such cute pets. They're such cute
Yeah.
pets. I mean, I enjoy having conversation with like humans and the Selkies and the Wolfkin, like adorable. They can talk to you. Wolves, they just go whoa 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
True. Very true.
Aurora
Well,
just gave me
Tank,
some side eye.
What an elucidating conversation. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so
Do you
welcome.
know anybody who cared about him by chance? Anyone? Just one person?
Ooh, yeah. Oh, we just got some puppy treats from Shadow. Yeah. There was one of those golden bow folk. I think Cascadia.
Cascadia.
Yeah, Cascadia and Lucerne were lovers like a really long time ago. Again, before I sprouted. Yeah. Nobody talks about Lucerne around Cascadia, so...
Can you tell me where she's at?
Yeah. She's like she's like... She tends to the flower gardens and collects herbs and stuff. She does all sorts of magic and stuff. So she's like over like in the next glade over.
Cool. Can you point me that direction real quick?
Yeah, just like the next glade over. Just go past. You see that tree with the little tiny yellow mark? Just go like past that one and then take a right at the tree with like the red mark, and then go past, and there'll be a tree that's lost 3 branches on its north side. Just go past that one, and then you'll find it.
Is it like a mile away or?
No, God, no. It's like a quarter mile.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
You'll find it.
You're right. And I sprout wings and fly away, casting polymorph on myself.
Do you really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna get lost.
Please do.
You want me to cast a spell?
If you were pulling this gag, sure. All
yes, my back phalanges sprout wings of weird, sickening fairy flesh, and I fly.
Gross. Oh. Fairy flesh, you say?
Sure.
Interesting.
Boy. Oh boy.
Fairy wings.
So, that's perfect. The rest of you are kind of like conversing with Tender Robin, and a couple of the elves that were standing on the outside that wear like no sort of like pinning. One of them walks up and says, "Yeah, so we've been listening to the conversation, and like none of you mentioned bringing flow into this conversation." And Tender Robin and Rosewald both like roll their eyes.
Nice.
Flow is their like the god that they worship. Flow is also the god that the fawn worship, right, Andy?
That is correct.
So your ears perk up at this.
With the fawn, my ears perk up, but I also roll my eyes at conversations about flow.
Why do you roll your eyes, Andy? Basil.
Basil experienced up close how much blind devotion to a religion can bring down and hurt a people and hurt the way they interact with others and in the world. So he kind of is a skeptic and has heard this many times in his childhood of people piping up to bring flow an already totally like. Oh God, what's the word? Impartial, fickle, like this god that just does not give a shit about people. Insofar as consistently being helpful to them. So
nice.
Okay.
Basil will roll his eyes as well, as will Chives.
Fair. Merrick, they are talking about bringing a god into the conversation. How does that make you feel?
I'm trying to determine as they say it if they're asking about consulting Flo or if they're literally going to go and get Flo and bring Flo over here and start talking to Flo.
Fair enough. Wick, on your to-do list is to kill 2 gods. How do you feel about a third being referenced?
Wick is not there. He does
He's
not.
Oh, that's right. I'm
know or
sorry.
care
You're right.
about.
You're right.
Yeah. This is
And
chump change.
Cacophony, you have a serious concern about the god that your community worships and represents. There is clearly some tension among this community and their deity. Anything coming up for you?
I think that Cacophony is mostly just frustrated that like everyone has a direct line to their god but her. Like like everybody who they're like, hang on a second, I have to call my god, and they're like boop 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 boop, and then they get on their like magical cell phones. They're like, hey god, and she's like doing everything that she can, and Raven is like,
nice.
yeah, Raven's like,
nice.
yeah, exactly. So like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think she's mostly just like, okay, cool. You guys go have a great talk about your super present god or whatever. I'm gonna be over here with my bag of holding. Suck it. And then she's just gonna like walk away.
Nice.
Yeah, when this god conversation starts up, I think Basil actually rolls his eyes and walks over to Dank to ask him if he can get a pre-roll of whatever the good shit is that he's got.
A pre-roll of my good shit? Whatever do you mean?
Soup's
Oh, your name's Dank.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, come on over here. Yeah, we're just gonna let
Step into my office.
Tender Robin talk about Flo. Yeah, just like they're gonna be at this a while. Just come on over here, and he will light up some of the elf good shit for whoever wants to join and partake in that little break. And this elf is going to basically argue with Tender Robin that they need to bring Flo in, and Tender Robin is just like, eventually she's just like, look, all I want is to get the ruby back, and I'm working with these lovely people to do that. You do whatever the hell you want, just don't get in my way. And Dank Do is like, yep, we're gonna go do some druid stuff. We're gonna go tend to the ants. We'll be over here. You do whatever you want with Flo. Just keep us out of it. And I think the shot that we will be left with is a small group of these, kind of, I'll just call them lay elves that don't have any affiliation. They head off towards like a big wide open field. And they start basically getting together a bunch of what look like rhinoceri with porcupine spikes on their backs. And these are like clearly beasts of burden that they have just grazing in the field. And they start, like, one of them hops up on a horse and starts getting them to follow around through the brush. It's like a large tall grass field. And as their porcupine spikes are like rubbing up against all of this like tall weedy grass, you start to see electrical discharge building up. And suddenly, after about a few minutes of them like rodeoing them around in a circle around this field and really getting it going, lightning strikes in the field.
Okay.
And after about 2 minutes, suddenly there is a slight, gentle, caressing breeze, which picks up and picks up and picks up until there is a gale gusting through the trees and the branches, rustling everything. And you see a pale, long, wispy woman who just looks completely unreal in how skinny and tall and lanky she is, just gliding through the trees, almost like she's glowing. And she looks like she is floating underwater with her hair just kind of floating in the air, like suspended, and she's just gently gliding into the copse to join all of you.
This is the perfect time for us who went off with Dank, who are now high as shit and super glassy-eyed. Just like...
Flo has been summoned to the elf. So we will find out how that unravels next week when we're back with another episode of Song of the Ravenlands. Thanks, everybody. This was a fun episode.
We met the elves.
You met the
You're
elves.
welcome.
Indeed, indeed. Any outros from anybody? Where can people find y'all online if you want to be found?
They know it by now.
That's true. That's true.
We
Although
exist and can be perceived on the social medias.
True.
Maybe I'll start including those in our YouTube description.
True.
Hey, sure. Sounds good.
Cool. Well, thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please join our Discord. Let us know what you thought of the show. Please check out the YouTube VODs and give us likes. They help. And the best thing you can do to support us is if you know anyone who you think would enjoy the content, let them know. Have them come check us out and join our awesome community. We'll see you next week on Fable Table for more Song of the Ravenlands. Have a good night, everyone. See you next time.
Night.
Bye.